Welcome to Dead Man Talking. Come with me as we step into the deep, dark forest of fear, and let us pray we see sunrise in the morning. Tonight's show, guys, is an absolute action-packed, tense and scary story from the fantastic writer that is Jim Lawrence. As ever, please do let us know down below in the comments what you thought. Please do like and share. And don't forget to hashtag TeamFEAR. If you guys are looking to wrap up warm this winter, don't forget you can cop yourself an official DMT Forest of Fear hoodie or t-shirt, or even a bumper sticker. I'll leave all the links in the description. Also, guys, you might have noticed there is an information bar at the top right hand corner of the screen on my video. If you click that, that will give you a direct link to my Patreon, the merchandise. Without further ado, let's get into tonight's story, entitled The Scariest Thing in the Woods. Chapter 6, What I'm Taught. Let's get straight into that. Heading to Texas isn't an easy task. Once you get there, you realise that you're only halfway there. Only state I know that you drive for 5 hours too, and still have another 5 to go to get to any city that you want to get to. I have driven straight through 1,000 miles, and Lou is in the back. Texas is finally in sight. I smell the Texas brisket on the barbecue, and I can't stop though. I'm almost to Angelina National Forest. I finally get to the place where the search parties are based. Bacon Springs. This is a beautiful forest with about 200,000 square miles of woodland. You put this together with the rest of the beautiful area, and the big thicket area itself, you're talking over 1 million square miles of piney woods. Here, when the people get lost, they never find any trace of them again. I stop and talk with a couple of the local rangers, a US Marshal. I walk up. Steve greets me as I do the rangers. Strange though, the Marshal gives me a long, disapproving look. I ignore it and tell Steve to fill me in on what I need to get and where I need to get to ASAP. Steve tells me this is the second hunt for a young boy that went missing. And Bill was part of the original party to look for him. Now he's missing. Steve asks me, "Where's that wolf of yours anyway? His nose might help a lot right now." Lou has been resting in the back. He's still banged up, but wanted to come anyway. Steve's not the only one to think about Lou's keen nose. I call Lou and he jumps out of the truck. Yes, I removed the wreck that Tony made of the topper. Lou gets the usual reactions from anyone that has never seen him before. We go to Bill's tent and Lou sniffs around until he has a solid scent track. We leave the tent and move to the edge of the woods. A young couple come up and Steve and the rangers asking if there's any news. Steve tells them not just yet and introduces me. Mr. and Mrs. Watson. This is Ranger Jim Johnson from Yellowstone. He's one of the best tracers and rescue people in the world. The woman yells, "You're going to find my boy, my Brian." "No, ma'am, he's not," interjects the Marshal before I can even speak. "He's going in to find his friend. He has not even asked about your son." I stare in disbelief at the Marshal. Before the witness's tears cry out, "You're not here for my son. You're only here for your friend." And she breaks down crying, falling to her knees. Her husband then steps up, and in a threatening posture, like he's going to strike me, before he backs away as Lou steps up growling. I again see in disbelief, as the Marshal then starts to pull his Glock 22. I shout out, "Calm down, people. I'm going to find the boy. And Brian, and anyone else that's out there." I then look directly at the Marshal and tell him, "If you pull that weapon at my dog, I will kill you on the spot." Threatening a federal officer is assault, and since you're armed, would you please shut up?" Mrs. Watson yells. "Just find my son, please." "Ma'am, please, do you have anything that Lou can sniff? We need to get started." She then produces a ball cap. Lou takes a long smell of the cap. I excuse myself to talk to Steve before we get out there. "You look tired, Jim. Did you drive straight through from Yellowstone?" "Yes, I did. I'm pretty tired. I went through hell before at the LBL. "What's with that, Marshal? Has you got something to prove or what?" "I honestly don't know. He just showed up this morning and started acting like he's in charge." "Okay. What are you and Bill here for? And this isn't your cup of tea? Is there a Bigfoot or Dogman sighting in the area? I have to worry about. Oh yeah, this is a hotspot for them. Most of the thicket is. Even David Crockett has an account of seeing one back in the 1800s, when he came to Texas. All right, Steve. Well, with that said, I'm heading out. I will not be back until I find them. I say my regards to the husband and wife, and we wish each other luck, and then when I take off. I would like to say it was an easy task to get into the forest, but it wasn't. That fool of a marshal was waiting for me at the tree line. He declares that he's going in to accompany me. I laugh. There is no way in hell you're coming in there with me. You couldn't keep up, much less. I don't need you, and I don't want you. I'm going in with you, or else. Or else what? You're damn lucky that the Watsons were there, standing with you. Or when you pulled that gun, I would have had Lou take your arm off, and trust me, he can do it. Ah, hell. I hit him square on the jaw and he crumples to the ground, like wet linen. Lou and I enter the forest, and we're well into it before he gets up. He will be a fool if he follows us, and part of me hopes so. I would love to educate him in the ways of the deep forest, and show him, so, what the scariest thing in the woods really is. I think to myself, I really shouldn't have done that, but it felt so good. But I'm just digging my hole deeper. The beauty of this forest soon relieves my tension, as I allow the magic of the greenwood to relax me. I had forgotten on what this forest looks like. I haven't been here for so many years. I know I'm not far from the Louisiana border, which puts me so close to my father. I push that out of my head and focus on the task at hand. I had seen the maps that the rangers were using for their search patterns. Lou is leading me away from that area. He doesn't have a huge scent, but he's moving fast in an eastern direction towards the river. If they went to water, we will have trouble picking up their scent. I have been awake now for more than 48 hours, and endurance has its limits, and Lou is hurting. We are almost to the Natchez River and Lake San Rayburn. Why, we have to sleep, boy. We'll catch the trail tomorrow. I cold camp and only put the blankets and nestle down next to Lou. I am no sooner asleep than the dreams come true. In the dream, Dawn's speaking to me. I smell that sweet smell. I'm so hungry. She tells me your friend is alive, as is the boy. They are together. They were taken by the elders of this forest, are in a safe place for the time being, but you will face danger if you try to rescue them. They are watched, and you are watched. You are watched by more than the elders of the forest. The great evil I spoke of south knows you are here, and makes plans to stop you. Remember what you have learned. Remember what you have been taught. Your mind is your greatest weapon in this. Strength and weapons will not help you. I have spoken to the Ancient One in the north. He knows you and respects you, and will also help you when he can. The evil to the north is moving. You must be wary of him. You must face him soon. The forest hides him, but doesn't actually. And an evil spirit that will seek to devour you. He is not as dangerous as the south, and the evil to the south wishes to consume you. And, if you do not use the lessons you have learned, he will consume you. I don't understand devoured. And are they not the same thing? Consumed and devoured? One wants to eat me, and one wants to consume me. That's the same. It's the same. It's the same. Suddenly, the dream changes. Dawn is running through the woods. The smell of that delicious smell, her flesh so soft and tender. Her fear makes it all the more inspiring. She's fast, but not as fast as I. I easily trip her, and she goes down and my fangs sink into her throat. The fresh hot blood covers my muscle. I revel in it. I revel in the kill, the satisfaction, and my hunger is suppressed. I awake and I could not eat. I understand. Lou is next to me licking my face, trying to calm me down. I understand, boy, I understand. And my father knows I am here. We have changed our direction now to the northwest, keeping the lake on my right-hand side. There is little traffic on the lake. It is almost November. I guess even Texans get cold sometimes. We move away from the lake, deeper into the forest. I have the feeling I am being watched. I notice a shadow. There in the tree line. It's too large to be anything man-size, so I guess one of us has found the other. I remember what Dawn said in the dream. Remember what you have been taught. Remember what you have learned. I act like I don't notice. And set up camp. I relax in my hammock. with Lou by my side. On a rock about 60 feet away, I placed a plastic container out that had some rhubarb that I'd picked. I nestled down to sleep. Then a few hours later, Lou stirs. A soft growl forms within him. Tells me the bait has been seen. Quite good, boy. It's all part of the plan. Now go back to sleep. I awaken and then, seeing nothing, to see the rhubarb is gone. I go to the rock and sit on it, taking the last of my rhubarb and placing it in front of me. I left my weapons behind. Not long after that, a large, I would say around 9 feet, Bigfoot steps out. Stay calm, Jim, I say to myself. He walks over to the rhubarb and then picks it up and points to me. Then points back to the woods. I understand. I get up and start to follow. He stops me with a motion of his hand and points to my weapons, and that I should bring them. No argument, I merely pick them up and follow him through the woods. I understand why these stay hidden for so long. I'm good in the woods, and I can make a trail most anywhere, but these things move through so fast and undetectable. It's amazing. We hike to the better part of 10 miles, to the perfect clearing. You could literally not find a better place. 10 feet in either direction, you'd miss it. And with the canopy above us, you could never be seen by the air. The one that led me here presents the rhubarb to a very large, like 12 feet tall, I think female. She then accepts it and gives me a slight nod.
Woman, you are not welcome here.
I hear a booming voice in my head.
But I will tolerate it, for the moment.
I say and think back to her. I am sorry for invading your home. I seek only my friend and a small child, and I hope you understand me.
I understand you, human, and only I can call you that, for that is what you wish to be called. The Ancient One has told me that we are to be friend to you, and to show proof of this, I took the small one and old one captive. No harm has befallen them, yet.
I am grateful for that, your kindness, Elder of the Forest.
Do not use your colourful word on me. I do not like you, and you're kind. I said I would tolerate you, only because I was told to.
I apologise to the Elder, and I bow.
I can retrieve more. 2 more have arrived to claim your people. They also brought gifts, so you must decide among yourself who they go with. Who else knows of your presence here?
How could anyone Elder know? My question hangs in my throat as 2 large dogmen step from behind a wooden structure. I thought Tony was big. These make him look like a puppy. I'm guessing this is a trial by combat. Lou was fighting with one of these things, just like before, and before that, he was kept over by the vet. What I've learned, and what I've been taught. Our audience seems to be melting away. Lou and I are standing yards away from 2 large and grotesque dogmen. I look at them hard. The dog in Lou is ready to fight. He knows he's hurt, but he will die if he needs to in this fight. I can't let that happen. I must keep them focused on me. One is eyeing Lou though, and I pull my .50 cal Smith & Wesson. It hits that one square in the chest. No explosion. Damn experiments. It hit him hard. I fire a couple more rounds, and he's hurt, but he didn't shake that hit off like Tony shook it off with the .45. The second one leaps at me, claws and teeth. I barely manage to get out of the way and dodge him. I pull my trigger again, misfire. I curse again, dropping the sidearm and pulling my blades. My only hope is to severely hurt the first one, and hope that I make enough effort so that Lou had a chance. I leap with all my strength at the wounded one as he circles me again towards Lou. I slice into his leg. Again, he's hurt, but hardly out of the fight. Where's the other one? I find out as I feel claws rake across my back. Lou hits him on full charge and finds himself at its throat. Like I said before, that's the wolf in him. That wolf is smart, and he has learned how to fight Dogman without taking too much damage. The wounded one now has me, trying to bite into my neck. I was once told to fight like a dog, like you would fight a man. I roll and hit it in the throat with as much power as I can muster, and back it goes. I'm up, and I'm swinging in an instant. I miss for the most part, but at least that thing is now short of an ear. I glance to the side and see the dogman that Lou has broken Lou's grip and rolled him over, and about to rip out his throat. I throw my cooker as hard as I can and catch the dogman in the shoulder. It penetrates, but not too deep. But it gives Lou the chance to break free and out of its jaws. I don't have time to think. We are not winning. Lou is getting weaker. I wonder about my own mortality. What did I say about not having the time to think about that? Well, that moment cost me and my dog almost. Another solid swipe of my clawed hand across my chest sends me reeling. When I regain to my feet, I see the dogman, with my blade in its back raised to its full height, letting out a triumphant howl. He has Lou in his jaws, and his claws ready to make a killing bite.
Enough! Enough!
I shout with the force of a hurricane. Both animals pause. I feel my muscles tighten. I can feel my stare from my red eyes flash. I can't see them, but I know they are no longer green. They are glowing amber. I am about ready done with this and ready to challenge them. Right now I am changing into the very being of these lesser wolves. The dogman that has Lou in his grip releases him. Lou takes no time in taking a position behind me. Both dogmen pause. Then the one that had Lou charges at me. I swat him away as if he were a puppy. I feel my clothes tighten and my body increases its mass. I release a feral growl that causes both to back up. The more wounded one of the two even wets himself, and I let out a howl that can be heard for miles. A picture of a maiden enters my head. It says simply, remember what you were taught. Remember what you know. Both dogmen are now cowering. I feel the changes happening as I hear a whimper. Not a simpering whimper, but like the dogs in front of me that will die soon. They are now two voices in my head. One is telling me to kill them, for they are nothing but mongrel soldiers. The other voice is sweet and telling me to remember what I was taught. It's Lou getting my attention. He's brought me a leather ball. Foolish dog. It's not time to play, it's time to kill. I now hear two more beating hearts, and the smell is so tasty. The dog again is trying to give me a ball. The sweet voice again tells me to pick up the ball, and I can't help but listen. The smell is so calming, relaxing. I then feel my body shrinking, and the voice disappears, and I only hear the sweet calm voice of Dawn. I look at the two dogmen.
Return to your master and tell him, I am not to be trifled with.
They slink off. I remember the old woman now, with the sage, telling me that the sage helps me heal, but it also keeps me in control. Moments later, I see Bill and Brian are being held. They're both just up to greet me. I hear the voice in my head again.
You truly are the protector of the forest. As the Ancient One rides within us, and we will help you when we can. The boy will lose his memory of this place as our gift to you and the people.
The faster way out of this to make for the lake. It's only a few miles, thank God. I'm so tired. I don't know how much longer I can even stand. Talk about luck. There is a chopper over the lake. I signal it, and we head back to what man calls civilization. I think I can sleep for a week, but I know I had better get back to Yellowstone. I don't know how long I can keep this up. That family is all hugs and kisses and thank yous for bringing their son home, who strangely can't remember anything at all. The marshal is still around, who begrudgingly tells me, "Good job, Bill. I don't care. I'm going to go get a drink and sleep tonight. You want to join me?" As we head back to Lufkin, I try to raise Tom on my satellite phone, but for some reason it isn't working. Never seen that before. It will keep, I decide. I'm happy. I saved my friend and a young boy, and I kept myself under control and learned some valuable info. One bad thing I realised though is I might really be the scariest thing in the woods. Bill, Steve and I find a bar in Lufkin, and of course Lou is with us. We find a quiet table and get a bite to eat and some Jack Daniels. We think about what happened. Of course I leave out the part about me in the end. Bill states he had heard a ear-splitting howl. I say I heard it too. No clue what it was though. Steve is insistent about how I defeated two dogmen. I show him a couple rounds, and if there hadn't been any misfire, then the fight would have lasted for a lot less, if at all. I tell him I need to go see if I can get them professionally made. If they work right, they can knock down anything. Bill is much more interested in how we communicated. I tell him I heard the voice in my head was all I could tell him. I said they communicated with him the same way. And that he had heard. They were telepathic. The night drags on. I'm not drinking very much. Something in my head says, keep my wits about me. Bill and Steve excused themselves, saying, Jim, we know you like to sleep outside, but old men like us need a bed and blanket, so we're going to go find a motel. My friends leave. There's one more drink in a bottle. I pour it into my glass. Well, old dog, just you and me. And after this last drink, we're going to go find our bed ourselves. Then I smell it. The scent, his smell, like a ton of bricks. It isn't like Dawn's. She smells sweet. This isn't sweet. It's pheromones. I look around and I see her in the shadows. A beautiful woman, long dark black hair, perfect body, and a grace that defies human movement. May I offer you a cognac? Bonsoir, Michel. No, thank you. I have my own. Such a barbaric drink. Little more than swill. Pour it in the toilet where it belongs. This cognac is from your father's private cellar. I want nothing from my father. I want nothing from you. Now why are you here? Lou's hackles start to raise. Oh, what a lovely chien. But he must learn his place. Her eyes flash golden yellow. Much to his credit, Lou stands his ground. Ho ho, so brave and loyal too. Again, Michelle, what do you want? I want you, of course. Are you not my fiancée? No, I am not. That is long over. You can tell that to my father. And she pouts. Very well, James Dahoo, but we will meet again. She gets up and leaves, and I watch her walk out into the night. I know her, and her anger. She doesn't like rejection. For all of her beauty, she will be the scariest thing in the woods tonight. Wow, fantastic chapter there from Jim. Wonderful, wonderful story. Thank you so much again, buddy, for all your hard work. As ever, please do let us know down below in the comments what you thought. Please do like and share. Don't forget to hashtag TeamFEAR. Don't forget, if you have a true or fictional story to share with us all here at DMT Forest of Fear, please do get that over to me by email at the address below, dmtforestoffear@gmail.com. And as ever, guys, remember, if you're going camping or hiking for the weekend, make sure you take all the necessary protective measures and do a little bit of history on the land. And above all, remember, be safe, not sorry.